You think she's sending mixed signals. Warm one moment, cold the next. You think she's the problem. But what if those signals aren't about her at all? What if they're showing you exactly how much control you've lost? Every silence, every delay, every moment you can't stop thinking about her. It's not confusion. It's a reflection. Because how you handle her uncertainty reveals who's really in charge, her emotions or yours. And when you understand that truth, the game changes forever. At first, everything feels easy. She laughs at your jokes, replies instantly, shares songs that remind her of you. The chemistry feels alive, a constant exchange of energy that feeds on attention. You start thinking, maybe this one's different. But almost overnight, her rhythm changes. Texts get shorter, calls end faster. She takes hours to respond to messages that once got instant replies. You tell yourself she's busy, but deep down, you sense it. Something has shifted. Here's the truth. She's not confused. She's calibrating. What you feel as emotional distance is actually her taking control of the tempo. When she senses that you're invested, she instinctively creates space. That space is tension. And tension to her equals leverage, equals every unanswered message, every delayed reply builds curiosity in your mind. What happened? Did I do something wrong? That curiosity quickly turns into anxiety, and that anxiety is what she subconsciously measures. The more you react, the more power she gains. Not because she's cruel, but because attention equals validation. She doesn't need to demand your focus. You hand it to her voluntarily the moment you start chasing clarity. Men often mistake this dynamic for a communication issue, but it's not about communication. It's about control of emotional rhythm. When she senses that you're steady, she'll test how steady you really are. She'll slow down, back off, or go quiet, just to see if you'll lose composure. If you do, if you double text, over-explain, or try to win her reassurance, you've just told her who's leading the emotional frame. The game isn't in what's said. It's in who reacts first. The one who reacts loses leverage. The one who observes gains it. That's the psychology behind the mixed signal. It's not random. It's behavioral calibration. Her subconscious way of balancing desire with safety. You see, women know something most men overlook. Desire grows in uncertainty. When you're sure of her, your attention softens. When she becomes unpredictable, it sharpens. That's why she steps back when you lean in. It reignites the spark without her having to say a word. But here's where it turns dangerous. When she learns that silence makes you chase, that distance makes you invest harder, she realizes she can steer the emotional current anytime she wants. And the moment you start reacting to every wave, you stop leading it. Remember this. Her inconsistency isn't confusion, it's calibration. She's fine-tuning how much power she holds in the dynamic. The real test isn't whether she pulls back. It's whether you can remain centered when she does. Because the more you chase certainty, the faster she loses attraction. One day she's warm, the next she's gone cold. You replay the last conversation, searching for the moment things changed. Maybe you said something wrong. Maybe she lost interest, or maybe, and this is the part most men never see, she's intentionally creating uncertainty. Uncertainty is her tool of control. It's what keeps you mentally engaged when physical closeness fades. Think of it as emotional volatility, the silent high and low cycle that makes you crave her more. She's not doing it to torture you. She's doing it because unpredictability keeps your attention locked. Your brain doesn't crave comfort. It craves resolution. And when you never quite get it, you stay hooked. This is where the dopamine loop begins. It's the same chemical cycle that keeps people glued to slot machines and social media notifications. The pattern is simple. Reward, withdrawal, Anticipation, repeat. When she texts you all night, you get the dopamine hit. When she disappears for 3 days, your brain starts searching for that high again. Every unread message becomes a trigger. Every scene without reply, a form of psychological bait. You tell yourself you're being patient, but your focus keeps orbiting around her. Now picture this. You've planned a date. She said yes, sounded excited. Then, a few hours before, she sends, "Hey, something came up." Rain check. No explanation, no reschedule. You feel irritation, confusion, maybe even a touch of rejection. Yet, just as you start pulling away, she returns a few days later with a light-hearted, "Hey, stranger." And just like that, your emotional investment resets. Relief floods in. You think you're reconnecting, but she's only reaffirmed her control. Most men misinterpret this as mixed feelings. It's not, it's conditioning. She's testing how deeply you need her attention to feel balanced. When she learns that a simple message can swing your emotions from frustration to relief, she realizes the power of her unpredictability. And unpredictability in modern dating is currency. It's important to understand, not all of this is malicious. For many women, it's instinctive. They sense that attention fades once things feel secure, so they unconsciously reintroduce tension to keep the dynamic alive. The problem is, what keeps the tension alive often kills the connection. Here's the paradox. She wants to be desired, but not predictable. She wants your focus, but not your certainty. That tension keeps her safe, but keeps you guessing. And once you start playing that guessing game, you lose control of your own rhythm. When you respond instantly to her chaos, when every silence, delay, or change in tone sends you into reaction mode, you've already surrendered the emotional frame. Your job isn't to decode her every move, it's to observe the pattern without feeding it. Because the moment you chase understanding, she learns that unpredictability works. Stay still long enough and you'll notice something powerful. The chaos only exists when you react to it. Not every woman who sends mixed signals is trying to play games. Some are testing something deeper, your emotional stability. You see, women don't always test you with words. They test you with silence, distance, or confusion. It's not manipulation. It's observation. When a woman begins to feel drawn to a man, a quiet instinct kicks in. Can I trust this energy? She doesn't ask it out loud, but she'll simulate uncertainty to see how you respond to it. She wants to know if you stay composed when things stop going your way, because if your confidence collapses the moment she withdraws, she knows it was never real confidence, just momentum. Here's the pattern. She starts by pulling back slightly. Maybe fewer texts. Maybe she seems distracted. You notice, you overthink. You start sending extra messages, checking if she's okay, trying to fix what you think is broken. But to her, that reaction reveals everything she needs to know. You're emotionally dependent on her consistency. A confident man reacts differently. He notices the change but doesn't panic. He gives space without resentment, observes without assumption, and maintains his rhythm. That steadiness is what communicates strength, not words, not charm, not reassurance, just composure. Remember this. A woman won't ask if you can handle pressure. She'll create it. And when she does, your reaction becomes her answer. If you respond with anxiety, she feels power. If you respond with calm, she feels trust. It's not about punishment. It's about calibration. There's a crucial difference between a game and a test. A game is about control. She's trying to win. A test is about safety. She's trying to trust. In a game, the goal is to dominate you emotionally. In a test, the goal is to see whether your emotional balance is stable enough to lean on. The behaviors can look identical, but the energy behind them isn't the same. One is manipulative. The other is instinctive. Let's put it in real terms. Imagine you've been seeing each other for a few weeks. She suddenly grows distant. You sense something's off. Most men start overcompensating, longer texts, reassurance, grand gestures. But the grounded man doesn't. He lets the silence breathe. He doesn't chase or retaliate. He keeps showing up with calm consistency. Then, something shifts. Her energy softens. Because while her conscious mind was creating distance, her subconscious was observing your stability. When you didn't crumble, she felt safer, not because you chased, but because you didn't. This is the paradox of emotional testing. You pass by not playing. You win by standing still. So when she sends those uncertain signals, when she disappears for a day, or gets vague or seems distracted, don't take the bait. Observe the pattern, stay composed, because the truth is, she's not playing you, she's measuring you, and the men who fail this test are the ones who take it personally. Modern dating isn't built on romance anymore, it's built on leverage. In today's world, attention is the new currency, and control is how people spend it. Women, especially, have learned to master this economy, not out of malice, but survival. Once upon a time, a woman's value in dating was defined by appearance and proximity. Today, it's measured by engagement. Likes, messages, story views, all forms of validation that arrive instantly and endlessly. The game has changed. She no longer needs to be the most beautiful woman in the room. She just needs to be the hardest to read. That unpredictability is power. The ability to keep your focus without giving commitment, that's the modern social advantage. And most men don't realize they're playing this game until they're already addicted to it. Think about it. She posts a photo. Within minutes, her phone lights up. Compliments, emojis, DMs, digital applause. Each ping reinforces her control in the attention economy. So when you start overinvesting, double texting, worrying why she's distant, you're competing with a system designed to reward her detachment. It's not personal, it's structural. Social media has trained everyone to equate validation with safety. The more eyes on her, the safer she feels. The moment she knows she can lose your attention and still be surrounded by others who want it, she holds all the leverage. That's the harsh reality. You're not her only source of validation. You're just one of the most responsive ones. This is why emotional unpredictability has become the new form of attraction. High-low dynamics, warm one moment, cold the next, create dopamine spikes that mimic intimacy but never deliver stability. It's addictive, not connective. Men check their phones every few minutes, waiting for the next hit of digital affection, trapped in a feedback loop they don't even see. You might think she's testing you. In some ways, she is. But more accurately, she's maintaining the balance of power. She wants to know, will you chase when I disappear? Will you compete for my focus? Because every time you do, you confirm her dominance in the emotional marketplace. Here's the paradox. When everything is available, scarcity becomes the ultimate magnet. The man who doesn't overreact, who doesn't rush to validate, becomes the rare signal in a sea of noise. His calm is disruptive. His lack of urgency becomes his advantage. So understand this clearly. When you try to win a woman's attention by giving more, you lose. But when you treat your attention as valuable, you shift the dynamic entirely. Because in the modern attention economy, the man who needs less wins more. Taking back control doesn't mean outsmarting her. It means mastering yourself. The more you try to play her game, the deeper you sink into it. The fix isn't manipulation, it's composure. Most men make the same mistake. They think the solution to mixed signals is to mirror her behavior, pull away when she pulls away, ignore when she ignores. But that's not control. That's reaction disguised as strategy. You're still letting her set the rhythm. Real control starts when you stop reacting and start observing. Step 1. Stop reacting. Start observing. Every time she withdraws, resist the urge to fix it. Silence isn't always a crisis. Sometimes it's a mirror. Watch her patterns. Let her actions reveal what her words won't. The goal isn't to change her behavior, it's to understand your threshold. How much ambiguity can you handle before you lose balance? That awareness is your anchor. Step 2. Match energy, not effort. If she slows down communication, don't chase. Don't punish either. Adjust. Show that your investment is proportionate, not desperate. This isn't about indifference. It's about emotional discipline, demonstrating that your world doesn't revolve around inconsistency. When she senses that her pullback no longer shakes you, the power shifts instantly. Step 3. Communicate boundaries calmly. You don't need speeches, ultimatums, or frustration. One calm line does more than an hour of over-explaining. I don't do well with inconsistency. I value clarity. Say it once, no emotion, then let your actions follow. Boundaries spoken without anger carry the weight of a man who knows his worth. If she steps up, great. If not, you step out. Not to punish, but to protect your peace. Step 4. Redirect your focus. This is where most men fail. They stay mentally trapped in the uncertainty instead of redirecting their energy. The more you focus on her patterns, the more you forget your own mission. Reclaim your time, your body, your goals. Train harder, work deeper. Build something that commands your attention more than her inconsistency ever could. The more grounded your life becomes, the less space there is for chaos. Now, a warning. Don't swing to the opposite extreme. Don't become cold or dismissive. Emotional detachment isn't strength. Stability is. You don't need to punish distance. You just don't need to fear it. When you stop chasing reassurance, you regain presence. When you regain presence, you regain power. The truth is simple but brutal. You can't control her signals, but you can control your reaction to them. Self-control is the only control that works. It's what resets the entire dynamic, from reacting to leading, from chasing clarity to embodying it. And once you reach that point, her uncertainty no longer dictates your peace. At the heart of every mixed signal lies fear, not of you, but of vulnerability. Most men misread a woman's distance as manipulation, when in reality, it's protection. Mixed signals are emotional armor. A woman doesn't withhold affection because she enjoys the confusion. She withholds it because she's learned that being too open too soon often leads to disappointment. The push and pull you feel isn't cruelty. It's control. Her way of managing how much she can be hurt. When she senses growing intimacy, part of her brain activates a quiet alarm. Don't give too much. Don't lose position. That's why she says things like, "Let's just see where this goes," while still checking your stories, replying inconsistently, or showing up when she senses you're drifting. It's not that she doesn't know what she wants. She just wants to feel safe wanting it. Control is emotional insurance. It's the illusion of safety. The belief that as long as she keeps some emotional distance, rejection won't sting as much. She wants connection without exposure, closeness without risk. That's why her actions don't align with her words. She's not lying. She's self-preserving. But here's the paradox. The more she tries to stay safe through control, the less safe she actually feels. Control keeps her from getting hurt, but it also keeps her from feeling fully seen. It blocks intimacy on both sides. Eventually, the very strategy she uses to stay secure becomes the reason she feels lonely. Now, this doesn't excuse manipulation. It explains motivation. The key difference is intention. Malice seeks to dominate. Fear seeks to survive. And understanding that distinction allows you to respond with strength, not resentment. When a man panics at her distance, she feels her fear justified. When he chases reassurance, she believes she was right not to trust. But when he stays calm, grounded, steady, unfazed, something unexpected happens. She begins to relax. She realizes she's not dealing with another man who needs her validation to feel whole. She's dealing with someone emotionally safe enough to let her guard down. That's when control dissolves. Not because she suddenly changes, but because your stability makes her feel secure enough to stop managing the dynamic. The need to test fades, the walls drop, respect replaces tension. You can't make her stop using control as protection, but you can make it unnecessary. When she senses your composure, her fear loses purpose. When she feels your steadiness, her uncertainty quiets. She controls until she feels safe. And she only feels safe when you control yourself. Mixed signals aren't puzzles to solve. They're mirrors. They reflect how you handle uncertainty, how you manage your own emotional gravity when someone pulls away. Every time you chase, overanalyze, or lose composure, you're not reacting to her. You're revealing you. What she's doing isn't always manipulation. Sometimes it's instinct. But how you respond determines whether that instinct grows into chaos or fades into respect. If her silence shakes your balance, she'll keep using it. If your calm stays intact, she'll feel something she didn't expect. Safety. That's the real game beneath all the noise. It's not about outsmarting her. It's about mastering yourself. You can't control how she communicates, how long she takes to respond, or how deep her fear runs. But you can control how much of your peace you trade for her uncertainty. So when her rhythm changes, don't panic. When her warmth cools, don't beg for clarity. Observe. Stay still. Because stability in a storm isn't passivity. It's power. Every man says he wants respect. Few realize respect begins where reactivity ends. The moment you stop chasing reassurance and start embodying calm, the dynamic flips. She can't control what she can't shake. And when you hold your emotional center, she either rises to meet it or drifts away. Both outcomes serve you. Let that be your filter. Choose composure over confusion, presence over performance. Stop decoding her behavior. Start deciding your standard. Because real attraction isn't built on control. It's built on calm. And if this message hits something deep, don't scroll past it. Subscribe. This space exists to decode the silent games of modern dating. Not so you can win them, but so you'll never lose yourself inside them. Each week, I'll teach you how to read between the lines, stay grounded in chaos, and turn emotional pressure into power. You don't need to chase mixed signals. You just need to understand what they reveal about you and who you become when you stop reacting to them.